try the person to see if they can provide you your needs before you settle down with them. What do you think of that?
Try.
All right, the way she put it is that she listened to the show. She did not call, she did not text, she did not do anything. But what she said is that, so suppose when I'm going on a date, I'm there to see whether you are capable
Or
of
financially stable.
financially supporting your family or me. What do you think of that?
Well, to me, it is wrong to me. It is wrong. To me, when you're dating, you must know that person because sometimes at that time, that person may not be financially supportive. But in due time, you understand, because the young people dating, I mean, if two grown-ups are dating and I mean they are experienced and they will know how to, you understand, get matters resolved. But the thing is that if it's two young teenagers or young adults dating, money should not come in as yet to me. You understand? You should get to know each other and then find out what's the person capability, what the person have in store for the future. You understand?
That's the purpose.
Yeah.
What do you think as a woman?
You would, based on the type of conversations you would have had, and you can present scenarios, you can ask questions. You don't necessarily, the person doesn't have to be like he's saying. If it's a younger dating couple, you may not be as financially stable as you would like the person to be. I mean, you're starting off in this world, the person probably trying to accomplish their own goals. So as compared to a more experienced older couple, they may not have assets and stuff that you desire. Again, it's, you have to think of your values, you have to think of what you're looking for, you ask the right questions, you get to know the person. But finance should not be your main concern. It should not be the priority of the conversation. I mean, it's good to know the person's ambitions, their goals, and then based on the type of response, you would be able to tell if the person is good, if they have financial management skills, if they're focused on having that level of financial income. If you can also explore the person's lifestyle, or if it doesn't take you on a date and necessarily, the type of date they take you on, you also can assess for yourself.
Um, like we mentioned last week, dating is to get to know the person. Get to know, do you have a goal in life? What are your, is that person ambitious? Is that person wanting to go forward in terms of the goals, ambition? Are they able to help you to move a notch forward?
Okay, the next thing I come to think of it. What's about dating as young couple and you go to like a kabawi on you think that's right? Because you know that's where the alcohol involves and you know
Well,
people talk.
we did explore that the last session, and we were saying about the type of dates that people go on. You don't want to go to a club where the music is loud because you can't get to know somebody in that environment. Similarly, it is not the best thing to consume a lot of alcohol or go to, like you say, a cabaret or a bar on your first date.
Or your second.
Or your second. You leave that for more courting stage. You want to really get to know somebody. You focus on the environment. You go for a lunch date. I even said whether you're at work and you're working the same area, you can have your hour for lunch together, talk, chat. You could go to the park. There are different things to do. You could, and it's not just about the nighttime sort of
Yes.
dating. You go for breakfast, you go for lunch, different things.
The purpose of dating is to get to know the person. Now, depends on where you go, you need to, it will not be able to give you will not have the opportunity to ask many questions or to discuss certain aspects of what you would want in your future. Because remember, it is your life, your future you're looking at. That's why you're on a date. Now, you need to give yourself ample opportunities to ask questions, to look at the person's behavior. Right?
Yeah.
Now, you going in a rum shop where people, everybody above you, behind you, and then noise, and then that one's, hey, hey,
Yeah.
hey. I mean, what would you learn from that environment? Although you can you can tell me that you will learn the person friends, but
Or
I
you learn
wouldn't.
if they're an alcoholic.
There, you learning that what you might have to deal with
Yeah,
in the next.
it's different environments,
Yes, different. That's
different
right.
situations. Like I was saying, it's good to have the people in different situations so you get to know them.
Because sometimes you dating as a young male and your destination with that person, go and sit on, and the dressing that person has,
Mhm.
it remove
Mhm.
everything off your mind and you only focus on one thing.
One thing,
Mhm.
yeah.
Yeah.
You understand? That's why the young ladies, when they dating, you must dress appropriately too.
Yeah, dress
Yeah.
appropriately.
Yeah.
Because remember, that's
You
not
don't
a
want to
sex
sell
thing.
yourself and market yourself very early on,
That's not a sex
because
thing.
he's gonna focus on that, and you can't blame him.
That's not a sex thing. Dating is not for sex, not deep kissing, not. There's nothing wrong with dating somebody when you're about to part or you'll greet each other with a hug. Nothing wrong with that. But you see the deep kissing, the sexing, and all these
You
things.
could
These
hold
things,
hands,
yeah.
things like that, but not.
But please, when you are dating, you need to date more than one person. Now we'll go to the next stage because
But
I
as
think
you,
But
but some
if
people
we,
may take that into the wrong context and because tell you dating more than one person. You know, in St. Lucia, as you rightly said, dating is getting to know the person.
Mhm.
But a lot of
the culture,
yeah, the culture, when you say is
they'll
dating that
call you all
person,
sorts of names.
you understand, and then
Mhm.
you tell you, oh, yeah, they're hearing over the radio, you saying that you can date how many persons?
We explained that
But
last week. We explained that last week. Culturally,
mhm,
when people date, they want you to date with one person, and if you leave that person, they'll say, and you're
mhm,
dating another person, they'll
mhm,
say, okay, please jam it, especially
yeah,
for the woman.
Mm.
mhm,
You understand? And the men, oh, you're macho, you can move
mhm,
from one to one.
mhm,
This, we want to break away from that and
mhm,
do it correctly.
yeah,
Dating is to get to know somebody who will possibly be your future husband or partner. Right?
exclusive of sex.
Dating is not, remember, is you. You are the one who determines who comes in your life.
Mhm,
When you, who comes in your life will be your baby father, who you'll spend the rest of your life in. And you want the best opportunity to get the best person. Some people do
And what
are
of
not honest.
on what of what age you somebody like a teen what age you would say like somebody could start dating? What age?
I'll say dating is for adults. All right,
Not for,
adults, and
not
an adult start at 18 years.
mhm,
All right, dating is for adults. Adults start because dating is to get to know a life, your partner, which you might choose for the rest of you want to be with for the rest of your life, and that is adult activity. Although legally, from the time the person is 16 years, the person can engage in sexual activity without any
consent.
repercussions,
legal
repercussions. Yeah.
repercussions.
Mhm.
Right? But I would encourage at 16 years, you should still be at school learning something to help your partner or your soulmate. You understand?
Mm.
So I personally will say from the time you're 18, you're out of school. And even though you're 18 and you're in school and you believe you are career oriented, you want your career, and by looking at having a partner will rob you or prevent you from achieving your goals. Nothing wrong in delaying it by 2, 3, 4 years.
Mhm.
What do you think of that as a woman? I don't want to put you on your spot, but as a woman,
um,
some people are saying the younger you do it as a woman, the better it is because by the time you reach a certain age, your figure start falling out and whatever,
But it
whatever.
depends on to me on
well,
it's on your mindset.
yeah,
It's
it
a
depends on your
mindset
mindset.
thing because
Again,
mm,
dating. If we're gonna stick to the definition that we provided,
mm,
I see nothing wrong with it
yeah.
because I'm dating you. I'm getting to know you. You're at college. You talk to many different people. You get to know the guys that are there.
Yeah.
You at work. You get to know people.
Mhm.
And then you start looking at that person. So, like we said, that particular date may be a bit lengthier, but
Yeah.
there's nothing wrong with the dating aspect to
There's
it.
nothing wrong. But
It's
you,
just that your level of mature. You have to think of your level of maturity at the time as well. It comes into play because if you're 18 and you still heavily dependent on other people, you have no ambition, you don't know what you need for your life. I don't think you should come and bring somebody else into that mess. You need to focus on you and figure yourself out before you go
who
and
you
engage
are, who you
somebody else.
want. Yeah.
Hmm.
Well, I believe that message should be spread across all social medias because I mean, when you look at social media like Facebook and these things, because they describe dating as a next, you understand, it's a next level to them. You understand? Because you describe dating as yeah the way it's supposed to be.
That's the way
Yeah.
it's supposed to be.
You
But
understand?
culturally, this is not the case. Dating
Culturally,
is this is your man, this is your woman.
as soon as
That's
within
not one date.
2 days, 2 weeks pass, you're supposed to
Yeah.
be involved
And
intimately,
that's
and
why
that's
that's how a lot of
That's why
young ladies
and that's why
become parents.
abusive
Yeah,
relationships
because what
people
happened?
stay there.
Imagine sometimes they go into dating and they indulge into sex. The first time, second time, they will use all the precaution, and third time, I know you already. That's fine.
that's fine. Yeah.
Yeah.
You understand? That's where the trouble starts.
That's why we are heading to. That's our goal to reach
Mhm.
that point to give people parenting tips out, and
Mhm.
especially parenting planning family.
Mhm.
You need to plan your family, but we have not reached that stage yet.
Yeah.
Probably next week we might look at that
Mhm.
because today we wanted to conclude on dating, cutting,
Mhm.
and then after the cutting, then you for the Christians will say marriage. Those who do not believe in marriage will say time for a child or whatever. But these things need to be planned.
As you
Yeah.
on dating, do you think that it is wrong for a parent to get themselves engaged in the dating partners and say do not date this person or whatever? You understand that person is not for you.
We touched on that as well because I was saying that you're dating somebody and the parent you're not dating the family, you're not dating the parents and stuff. I mean the input from the family is relevant. It could guide you, but you have to focus on what you know about the person, what the person is presenting. The family context comes into play, I would say, when you're trying to get a broader picture of the person because some people can really put up a front. So, getting another perspective, there's nothing wrong with that, but I wouldn't say it's the determining factor. So you cannot base your decision solely on what the mother say or what the father say, but you can consider it and you can allow it to guide you in making a decision as to whether you want this person permanently in your life.
We need to also remember that our parents have gone down that road before us.
Mm-hmm.
They have the experience, and they may know something about this family that we might not, as
Yeah.
the young children, the teenager might not be aware of. There are problems within a family that trickles down
Mm-hmm.
to other
Generation.
siblings for
Yeah.
generations.
Yeah.
There are problems within a family. It has stopped within the generation above it,
Mm-hmm.
above what you have right now.
Mm-hmm.
So this is where you use your parents come with information.
Mm-hmm.
Usab tutsi munzani or like
The
say
alcoholics or
they're alcoholics or something.
yeah, most times that's the case.
Most times these things tend to trickle down
Yeah.
from generations.
Mm-hmm.
The grandfather was
Oh yeah.
alcoholic, the father is an alcoholic, the mother is an
Mm-hmm.
alcoholic.
Mm-hmm.
The possibility of who you dating
Mm-hmm.
might be an alcoholic too.
Yeah.
It's not always the case. Sometimes the person decide, hey,
I'm gonna break that trust.
I saw my mother do that. My mother was an alcoholic. My grandfather. I'm taking that.
Mm-hmm.
My choice is not to be like them.
Mm-hmm.
All right. It has happened and it still happens. Right. But do not just dismiss
Yeah.
what your parents tell you about somebody's generation. Do not just dismiss it because it runs down from generation to generation. For example, mental health illnesses. This also runs down generations.
Mm-hmm.
So you need to be careful with that also. All right. So do not just brush them aside and the visa for no. Your parents are concerned about you. What they are telling you, probably they might not tell you the way they're supposed to tell you.
Mm-hmm.
They might tell you it rash, especially hash. I mean, especially if the two parents are not speaking, they might tell you it hash or just do everything to try to make you break up or not to speak to that person. I mean, they might not do it in the appropriate or approved manner, but listen to what they have to say and then formulate your own decision based on what you have experienced and what you
Mm-hmm.
learn about that person. And also bear in mind that that person can be putting up a front, right?
Mm-hmm.
A front. Sometimes these people are beating up one another. They do not have respect for each other. Morality is out of the window for them. Be careful. These things tend to go down from generation to generation.
So what we would have gathered again? I don't know if you remember my tagline for dating, Mr. Edward. So you date with purpose. You have to date with purpose. You can't just be dating randomly and there's no intention to the dating as to
Exactly.
what you want to move forward. So date with purpose.
All right. You clear on that?
So yes, I'm very clear on that. But you see, that's where education and communication comes when it comes to, because a lot of young adults who are dating, they are not. I mean, they are not. There's no one to guide them along.
All right.
Normally, they fall back on the classmates or people that is you understand, same age range, and they always tell you sometimes when you have people that are older than you, speak to them, then they will guide you through. You understand? They'll tell you
Mm-hmm.
different things. But with the young people nowadays, I mean, a young girl, my daughter or my son will not tell me I'm dating that person. What you think? They'll tell that to a close friend of theirs. You
Oh, you
understand?
ask?
Yeah, but
Um,
sometimes you don't know.
No, well, it's
a
good to
lot.
ask.
That's
You
why.
ask your children.
Because the thing is that the thing is that now
Just now.
dating before is, people used to go and date like say go and have a walk by the beach talk, but now dating before is on social media, the WhatsApp. People date sometimes so 2 weeks on
And you
they
never
talk so much on the
and you never see them.
and you
You
never
never
see
see
them.
them, yeah.
Yeah.
And one time they go meet each other
And
and
that's it.
that's it.
Yeah.
You understand? And
Mm-hmm.
sometimes that one time is a
Yeah.
lifetime regret.
Yeah. Yeah.
Some people have gotten attached, emotionally attached to somebody. They probably saw only the pictures, but because of the constant conversation they
Yeah.
have in an intense conversation with that person, sometimes you have not ever seen the person, or you only see the person once on, you understand? So you have to be careful of that. You saying sometimes your children might not tell you they're dating. That is why our previous program we are telling you try and build a bond with
Bond.
your children from as early as
Mm.
possible.
Mm.
When you go to hospital and all, the doctors and nurses will tell you rub your belly, sing to your child in in the belly, right? You're developing a bond. You're creating the hormones you're secreting, and it helps the child. You're creating a bond with the child, so that whenever the child reaches a stage where they have an issue, they can come, Daddy, Mommy, this and that is happening. What do you think?
Mm-hmm.
We nurture this culture in our children. It might be difficult because we have to go to work as parents. We're going to work, but try your best to spend quality time with your children. Find out what is happening. How was your day? What happened? Anything interesting happen?
But
You as the parent should be the first person to guide your child.
sometimes as devil advocate, they'll tell you, me, I have problem with my other half already. I don't even want to hear your story. I have enough problem. I'll tell you something. A lot of it's reality.
Mm-hmm.
It's a reality. You understand? Sometimes first of place, pas family.
Yeah, that's
You
not what
understand?
we're
And that's not
encouraging.
good.
That's not
That's
what
not,
we're not
Yeah, a
encouraging.
lot
That's
of
all.
parents do that.
a lot of parents do that.
They
You understand?
don't consider
Now,
the
what
children.
happened? And a lot of times again, the parents may be in some financial situation, and they see that other guy is from a family that is
Uh-huh.
above there, and they'll push the young lady into that guy. You understand?
Mhm. Even if the child does not like the person,
Yeah,
they
even if
will
the child doesn't, you
encourage the
understand?
relationship.
It's like a peer pressure
Yeah,
thing.
it
You
would.
understand?
Mhm.
Go on. You understand? Date him, and the young girl is never happy. The young adult, sorry, is never happy.
Never happy because what they want is the money.
Yeah, and
Mhm.
after a time, sometimes they get married. Even to the church, even some up to a certain point, the church is sometimes involved in these kind of things
Yeah.
too. You understand? And when you're here 4 5 years down the line, sometimes 10 years down the line, and problems.
Mhm.
You see, I had a program here earlier on when I just began about as you mentioned, the churches. Some of the churches, as soon as they see you begin your certain age, you start speaking to someone of the
Yeah, they
opposite sex,
pressure
they
you to
pressuring
marry.
you to get
The
married.
influence is there. Yeah.
Why they pushing you to get married? Because they want you to avoid fornication.
Mhm. But that's not the purpose.
But that is not the purpose.
Yeah.
You are just beginning to speak to the person. Hey, maye avant commit fornicate. Eko fe ish.
Mm-hmm.
Instead of telling the person,
Take your time.
be mindful.
Be mindful. Mhm.
Learn about the person. There are people after 2, 3 years of marriage, they get out of that already because the church forced them to get married.
And sadly, where is the church when you're getting divorced? Because
Do they compensate you for anything? Do they provide?
exactly.
Do they provide
They
any
don't. They
financial
don't.
help to pay the
Most
lawyer or
times,
anything?
most times you might not even be able to get counseling to help with the situation.
Or some of the pastors and they might tell you, stay, try and work it out. You're getting licks
Mm-hmm. But
every
stay, work
time.
it out.
Uh, as I tell you all today, we have a shortened program. We have some.
Yeah.
We have to go down to Viewfort today. I have to go to the hospital and check on somebody, a child there. 2 children to check on in Viewfort. So I have to rush. So we just came in just to conclude the topic on debate. So next week we'll look at cutting and planning families and what cutting's supposed to entail. Cutting is a deeper,
The next level
the
after
next
dating.
level after dating.
Yeah.
That's where some of the hard questions come in.
Mhm.
Like, you
Definitely.
have to translate
That's
that.
when you go into your finances and everything.
Okay. It's cutting.
Right.
Cutting.
14.
That's where you have already, you generalize when you are dating, speak to many as possible. And when you're cutting, you tend to
It's
specialize.
monogamous.
I chose you,
Mhm. Nobody else.
and let us start from here as you are my partner until I'm looking at you seriously. I'm hoping that you look at me seriously.
Mhm.
We
So
are
before
couple.
cutting, how long you say that you should be dating that person?
No, it's
Before
it's,
you
it-
It's re- it's there's no timestamp on it. It's relevant to your situation with each person.
yeah. And you know yourself.
Yeah.
God has
But-
given us that instinct within us to know that it's time to move on to the next level.
Yeah, but the key thing here, with regards to your question, do not lead people on because some people they date forever deliberately to have men spend money, to buy food, to do this, or to use that as an excuse. Don't do that. We're not talking about that type of dating. We're talking about serious dating. You take your time, you explore, and then you make a decision. But don't continue leading people on because you're gonna, it's two people. It's not just you.
So before you conclude on the dating, what about if dating in St. Lucian, you have somebody dating overseas and you have not met that person? How does that work?
Oh, word.
I have known of instances where people actually get married like that, meet people online and they get married.
Long distance.
Some people do not want long distance relationship. Some people, to them, it's fine. They consider every St. Lucian's men are the worst men. St. Lucian ladies are the worst off. None of them good, and they believe they have this notion that American men or European men
Or
are
Dominican
fine.
or Jamaican. Why are you going so international? Stop going so
They are
international.
fine.
The point is, my take on this is with the advent of technology, do not restrict yourself to each his own. If he's not in St. Lucia, he can be in Jamaica, he can be in St. Vincent, he can be in the US, Canada, wherever it is. Things happen. We have technology, travel is easy, you have access. So I don't have an issue with it. I don't see
Yeah,
an issue with it.
But be careful, be mindful also.
It
It might
makes
be
it harder.
more
It makes it harder to date.
right. It might be more difficult to uncover a lie
Exactly, that's what I'm saying. So the
It might be-
information will be difficult to
to
gather.
uncover.
Yeah, because you can't
But
see
it
the
can
person
work.
in situations, but it
It
can
can
work.
work. It can work. And then you have to be wow. You have to make up your mind how often will that person be able to leave their job to come and spend time with me.
Right.
And then
And are you willing to,
are you
to
willing
relocate?
to give
That's
up
just like
yeah.
a major thing before you even go into it.
give up your job
Mhm.
to relocate to where the person is, or
Mhm.
when the person
Yeah,
come
that's a
down to
major
meet
thing.
you, whether the person will get a job to help
Yeah.
you. All these things you
All
have to take in
even
consideration
before you even think of going into overseas
long term.
dating or whatever.
Because overseas they can put a front, they can show you a picture,
Oh yes.
Yes.
Oh
and that is
yes.
not them at all.
The fishing, the cat fishing.
Right.
Yeah.
Yes, yes, yes,
But
yes,
to each his own,
Mm-hmm.
be careful. Um, I've also heard where people dating people and they rob them financially of their
Oh
money,
yeah, the scammers.
the scammers. So you have to be careful. You have to be careful. You
And they
do
are
not
very
know.
professional
They are very
sometimes.
perfect. Yeah. Be careful. Be careful.
Be
If it works for
mindful
you,
of our Casanovas. That's all. Just be mindful.
Mhm.
all right.
Yes,
So I
so
have to leave now.
Yeah.
yeah, very good
So
Thank
program.
you for having
Very
us.
next week, please God,
yes,
we'll
yes. I'll be
continue
there
that.
next week. So
You'll be there, so we'll talk
yes,
about the cutting and the marriage planning and your family. Just don't just go and just because you select somebody to be your partner, that you must just go and then just start having children without planning and being protective of yourself and whatever. So we'll go into that next week, please God. So until next
Bye.
week, bye bye.
okay. Take care. Thank
All
you very
right.
much. Yes, you have just finished listening to the program Family Matters on 88.5 Soufriere FM. Tune in again next Tuesday. And the context or the topic will be courting. Yes. Patrons for your part web this coupe also. It's courting. COURTING. Yes, sir. Yes, you into 80.5 Super FM. Wanna say blessings to Makotomi on Facebook. I was following via Facebook. All our Facebook viewers. Wanna say good morning to you. Yes, wherever you may be. Mago, you are not in St. Lucia, you are in Maryland. Listening. Yes, be safe. Stay safe.